Good morning. This is Carrie Van Dale, CEO and President of Van Dale and Associates. Today is July 12th. This is our second YouTube episode. We are going to feature my article entitled "My Texting Got Me in Trouble." This article will define a 3D communication process. The first 3D step is discovering barriers. The second 3D step is demonstrating active listening. And the third 3D step is directing action. This morning, I have invited my robotics team to talk with you about their communication skills that they are using on the team. And in fact, I've invited the team to participate in our YouTube once a month episodes. So from that point, I'll turn it over to Ronnie.
Good morning. The definition of communication is a process involving an exchange and understanding of information between two or more people, and that is the dictionary definition. So, Cannon and Brady, what does the word communication mean to you? Each of you, I should say.
Communication is a way to help us figure out what we need to do and to help understand each other and what meaning. Crap. Sorry.
You're okay. Keep
okay.
going.
Keep going.
Yep. That's a good definition, Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Real good definition. Did you have anything else to add to that?
No.
Okay, that's a good definition.
I think it means how we talk about everything on the robotics, like strategy and stuff.
Exactly.
Anything that multiple people or just one person does, you have to communicate.
Exactly. Yep. Excellent answers.
Very good. This definition of communication is telling us to communicate in 3D. And those 3Ds are discover barriers, demonstrate listening skills, and direct actions. So, the first D in the 3D communication is discovering barriers. Brady and Cannon, will you tell me one communication barrier you guys have had or may have this year on your robotics team?
I'll go first. One I think is just like I might say something and then Brady, since this is his first year, he might not understand because this is my fourth.
Yes.
I've been on it longer, so I might say like, "Here, can you pass me this beam or something?" And he might not understand it. So
yeah, that's a really good example.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with Cannon. This is my first year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always talking about stuff that I don't know about, like Vex Technic pieces.
Yeah.
That make no sense to me. So I feel like we can help better communicate if we figure out that kind of thing.
Yeah. I have a comment, Ronnie. May I take some time right now? What's interesting is that even though this is Brady's first year and Cannon's fourth year, and our other two team members who couldn't make it today, Elijah and Grace, it's their second year. Actually, it's Elijah's third year and Grace's third year as well.
No, Elijah's second, Grace's with Vex.
Okay, that's right, with Vex. That's right. But what's interesting is that Brady brings to our team coding experience. So even though he's new to robotics, he is the one who taught us about coding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how important it is to be able to communicate with each other. So, excellent.
Okay, the second D in the 3D communication model stands for demonstrating active listening. How do you, Cannon and Brady, plan on demonstrating active listening throughout this year on the robotics team?
I plan on demonstrating active listening by translating code into language that they can understand.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Yep, very good.
I demonstrate active listening by if I'm building or doing something, like giving them full attention. If they are like saying something like break code, translating it to things that I can understand. I'm not a coder.
Right.
To just stuff that we can understand, and
Yes.
don't just have them just talk to you to your ear, give them eye contact.
Right. And don't just assume that the other person understood. Always follow up by saying, do I need to repeat myself, or do you have any questions that I can answer
what
you?
did you not understand?
Right.
Right. Because you become the teacher.
Right.
When you are discussing something, you become the teacher at that point.
That's
So
right.
you have to make sure your students and your audience understand what you're saying.
Right. That's right. And what this team is learning about communications is not practiced very well in the business world. And so you have a real advantage to learn these techniques now as young people. Awesome.
The third D in communication model stands for directing the action. Brady and Cannon, how do you plan on directing your communication action so you can win at your robotics tournaments this year?
Good question.
I can direct our communication by
When you're driving. Maybe when you're driving. How will you communicate with your teammate?
So even with the other team too? Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
Your alliance.
You got to talk to them during your rounds. Like, sometimes you don't want to risk getting in just one extra point, even though you already have more points.
Yes.
So, like, just not to, like, if they do, like, the second driver or first driver goes for something way too risky, or it's time to switch and they haven't, you have to say switch, time's up, or just say, no, don't do it. We're winning. You have more points. Don't risk it.
Don't risk it. Yeah.
I want to bring something up. I noticed that your team and your alliance team have a plan already in place.
Yes.
Because you practice prior to the tournament.
Yes.
Prior to that round.
Yep.
So you're already planning that language that you're going to use.
Yeah.
You already plan the timeout and everything like that. So that's an awesome plan of action with communication, because you're already doing that.
Yes, exactly. That's a really good example. Yeah. And in the business world, often groups, especially when adults are working on projects, often they are silos. They work on them individually and they don't come together to communicate prior, during, before, after. Like you have to before you actually drive with your alliance team at a round.
Yeah, and I agree with Cannon, Ronnie, and Carrie, because you might have a plan, but that doesn't mean that the other team will follow through with that plan, or maybe they'll add something without telling you.
Yeah. Really good point, Brady. And that's happened, hasn't it? Yep. That's happened.
The robot.
And when you guys go to World again, the World Championship, you were experienced with the language barrier.
Yes.
And you had to practice with those teams and coming up with a plan to know what to say to each other during that during your round.
Yep.
Which that's a plan.
Yes.
You're planning you and that team.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because at Worlds is 45 countries represented.
You worked with China and Morocco.
Go on. So the last round you were with China, and the other team, your alliance team, did not speak English, correct?
One of them did.
Okay.
So out of the 3 kids on that team, the adult did a little bit.
Okay.
But it was just us 3. One driver did not speak English. One
Right.
spoke English, not well, like not really well, but he could understand some of us. So like he was the translator,
Right.
and then the other one did not. So we had to really work with them throughout the match. It was hard because that second one's driving. It takes that extra second for us to be like, hang,
Yes.
hang, hang.
Yes.
Translate it into Chinese.
Did you find yourself using body language like hang, hang, you
Yeah.
know, with your hand movements and things like that?
Yeah. We got a strategy where
Yeah.
we didn't really have to communicate because we practiced
Right.
it like 20 times.
Yeah. And did you use paper and pencil to kind of show where you're going to drive and
A
who's going to
little
do what?
bit.
Yeah.
We kind of like brought out a sheet and then
Right.
we translated it perfect on the big board.
Yep. Yep.
That was
Excellent.
really neat to see.
Yeah.
Because actually, there are people who travel for work,
Right.
and that language barrier. If you read information on it, that is the hardest communication
Right.
issue
Yeah.
or barrier that people find themselves in.
Right.
Even if that person speaks English, they may not. It's still hard. You really have to use active listening.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Your active listening skills.
Yeah.
And it goes on the other side as well. For that person that doesn't speak English, it's the same
Exactly.
feeling for them that we get,
Right,
you know,
right.
or that you guys would get for
Right.
that other team.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
these are very good skills
Yes.
that you are learning at a young age to take into your adult
Yes.
life, your career, because you will find yourselves in those
Yes.
positions.
Yes. Definitely.
Okay. In summary, the 3Ds. Let's see. Discovering barriers, demonstrating active listening, and directing the action. Know the purpose of your message before you send it.
Yeah.
Know the channel that fits best with your message to achieve understanding, and know how to send your message. Apply the 3D communication model whenever you're communicating with family, colleagues, team members, customers, and management. Is there anything you would like to add?
No, just thank you very much, Ronnie, for always facilitating our discussion. And thank you, Brady, and thank you, Captain. And we look forward to having you on our YouTube episode every single month. And it's going to be fun for our YouTube audience to walk through this process with us, because we're going to win at Worlds. We're going to do it. So thank you very much. And thank you, audience, and enjoy your day.